There's also one thing you haven't told me yet, Ron finally said. I presume you wanted to know who am I? Yes, that's what I asked earlier, Ron snapped. My dear Ron, after hearing my history lesson, you still haven't figured out yet? That's why I asked, Ron replied impatiently. There was a silence for a moment, then a horrifying image formed into Ron's mind, and it was the most terrifying thing he's ever seen. It was a humanoid creature with a dark red skin that resembled a gargoyle bat and a locust all mixed together, and the creature, bat-faced, sneered at Ron as it spoke. I am the demon who created the Red Rage and Yono, at the same crimson skull that raised me centuries ago. I was banished into the other dimension, like the Red Rage after Hiroshi slayed the evil emperor that conquered Japan. I go by many different names, but there is one that geeks once call me, and that is my name is Apollyon. However, I go by the name Abaddon as well. Ron was instantly gripped with fear. He had never once known in his life, and it was all nothing than his old fear of monkeys had once been. This was not just any demon. This was just an army of great fallen angels that Ron had once read about the various in ancient biblical scriptures. And it happened to be none other than the great destroyer of himself, and it was said to command the army of demonic locusts that resembled horses crowned on human faces, woman's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a tail of a scorpion stinger at the end. Ron was also known that the name Abaddon was also a Hebrew word for destruction. Ron eventually realized that it was fully the name of the Abaddon scriptures had mentioned. He was dealing with that quite possibility more powerful, dangerous force he had never encountered. If Apollyon was powerful enough to create the two dark entities, then one could corrupt such a dealing quite a possibility of the most powerful, but possessing mystical monkey powers, however, though, Ron would never stand a chance against him. I can see that you're terrified, but I'm not your enemy, Ron Stoppable, the demon known as Apollyon said in a calm voice. Shut up! Get out of my head, you foul demon! Ron yelled in his mind. You've tapped into the Red Rage. That's not possible. When someone taps into the Red Rage, me and that user are bound to fate, but yet there are still my limits to my abilities. I can't harm the user, but I can make them go mad if they resist my influence enough, Apollyon hissed. I'd rather not go mad than to serve you, Ron finally snapped. I will never follow these team past Kuro or Crimson Skull. All they wanted was power and to control others, and that's not what I want. I just want to protect those I love. You should have already shown your fleeable abilities. They really are. And as for Kuro and the Crimson Skull, they lacked the proper discipline to use my power. That's why they were defeated. But you have far wiser and more intelligent mind than they did. Master Sensei only taught you half of what you know, but I can complete your training and forge into a weapon that I could destroy the Black Shadow for good. Only if you allow me to, Apollyon explained coldly. I have no desire of any of that. I won't allow you to mess with my head anymore. I'll find a way to fight your influence over me. I never wanted this power in the first place, Ron shot back. Is that so? Then answer me this. Why you tap into the Red Rage in the first place, if you ever desired it? Apollyon asked in a demanding manner. I honestly don't know for sure, but either way, it was an accident that I didn't intend to repeat again, Ron replied. Don't mock me, boy! No one uses the Red Rage by mistake, Apollyon suddenly roared in anger. You tapped into my power of your own free will. You desired the destruction of that criminal who threatened to take your girlfriend's life. And you tapped me into your mind to felt the pull of the Red Rage. Then you tapped into it without a second thought. You don't dare try and mock me, you weak-minded human! I'm not weak, you foul demon. I'm nothing like you or those who influence it. You hear me? Ron shouted back, feeling his rage begin to boil again. You say you're not weak, yet I feel that rage boiling within you. Is that you truly believe me? Apollyon questioned with a low growl. You're damn right, and I believe it. I may have lost my temper back there 5 days ago, but that's a mistake and I don't intend to make again. And yes, I may have killed Warlock and Ramongura, but that wasn't my intention. If you indeed say who you are, then surely you should know that I am right, Ron retorted. Apollyon let out a hiss and a growl in a response. I'll take that as a yes, Ron replied, feeling a small sense of pride returning to him. Mark my words, boy. You may resist me and my power now, but should something tragic happen to the ones you love, I guarantee that you will come back begging me to train you, Apollyon growled in defeat. One day you'll see me as the only way to defeat evil is to fight evil with evil. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm gonna resort to that, Ron said defiantly. Don't toy with my mind any further, Apollyon. I am much more stronger than you think. You will regret turning me down one day, Stoppable, Apollyon said, then turned slowly vanishing into the darkness. Try me, Ron said, before finally breaking into his state of meditation. He suddenly heard the voices of Kim, Ron, Anne, and Rufus, all speaking with him as his eyes opened. They were now brown again. Looks like Ron came out of it, rather quickly as well, Anne exclaimed in relief. Ron, you alright there, buddy? Wade asked. What happened? Kim asked. Ron then looked around and saw the clock on the wall that showed it had only been 10 seconds had gone by. This baffled Ron. The whole interaction between him and Apollyon seemed like it had gone over for an hour, but in reality it was only 10 seconds. Ron then looked over at Kim and the others with a serious expression. Guys, I know what this power is and where it's originated from, and it's far worse than I ever could have imagined, Ron said in a serious tone. What? What are you talking about? Kim asked in confusion. What I'm about to tell you is all going to sound crazy, but I promise you that every single word of it is the truth, Ron began. He began telling the exact same story that Apollyon had told him moments ago. As for Apollyon, Ron had no longer sensed him in his mind, but he knew that for a fact he was there somewhere, watching his every move. Ron vowed to keep his promise that evil demon and prove that his mind and heart were much stronger than his rage, and he would do it no matter what the cost. Yet Ron had wanted to finish what he and Kim set out to do, and that was to hunt down and eliminate Black Shadow once and for all.